welcome to today's class. Today we are going to revise chapter 3, that is atomic structure. So briefly we will be discussing the whole chapter together. Okay, so let's start. As we have discussed earlier, there are three subatomic particles: electron, proton and neutron. Electron is having negatively charged and its mass is negligible. That's why
Start.
electron can be represented in this manner: E0. This is for the mass. As mass of electron is negligible, it's 9.1 into 10 to the minus 28 gram. So that is almost negligible. So we will be taking it as 0, and its charge is negative. It's negatively charged particle. Its charge is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, which is the unit charge. So that's why we will be taking it as 1 unit of negative charge. That means its charge is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb. This is the lowest possible charge, so this can be taken as unit charge. So this will be equals to 1 unit. Okay, so electron we will represent in this manner: E0 minus 1. Why minus? Because electron is negatively charged particle. So this amount, this is the amount of charge 1.6, or unit charge 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, or unit charge, and that is negative charge. That's why we will be using this minus. Okay, so this is the representation for electron. Next, proton. Proton we will represent in this manner: P11. Okay, 1 is the mass. As proton is having 1 unit of mass, its mass is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Okay, so proton's mass is this 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram, which is the lowest possible mass, and that we will be taking as unit. So 1 unit of mass is there in proton, and its charge is same as the charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, but here it is positive. Okay, so positive charge of 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This charge is, proton is having this charge. Okay, so proton we will be representing, and as this is again the unit charge, so proton will be represented in this manner: P1 plus 1. This is for the charge of proton, and this is for the mass of proton. Okay, next we are having one more particle, that is neutron, which is neutral. It's not having any charge, so charge is 0, but it's having 1 unit of mass, and this mass is slightly more than that of the proton. But here also, as it is, the difference is very less between the proton and the mass of the proton and neutrons. The difference is very less, so this mass of neutron also we will be taken as unit mass. So N1, this is for the mass of neutron, and 0, this is for the charge of neutron. As neutron is not having any charge, so N1, 0, this is the representation of neutron. So these are the three subatomic particles which was discovered by the scientist. Okay, and electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson, though it is actually he worked on this, and he named electron, and he explained the characteristics of electron. So for discoverer of electron we will be taking the name of Thomson only. Okay, maybe in your book it's not given, it's given someone else. Okay, but it is William Crookes, it's written in your book, but actual electron was discovered, and its characteristics was explained by J.J. Thomson. So discoverer of electron will be J.J. Thomson. Next, proton was discovered by E. Goldstein, and neutron was discovered by James Chadwick. Okay, so these three names you have to learn properly. Now let us see how we can represent an atom. This is the helium, one helium atom. Okay, He, helium, the second element. Why we are calling it as second element? Because its atomic number is 2 after hydrogen. Okay, so its atomic number is 2. This is the atomic number. At this place, we will be writing we represent atomic number of any element or an atom. Okay, and here we are using the mass number. Mass number for helium is 4. Okay, so this is the mass number. Now what is atomic number and what is mass number? Mass number is this is the total number of, I'm writing in short, proton and neutron. Total number of proton and neutron present in an atom. Whereas atomic number, this is the number of proton either or number of electron. As number of proton and number of electron are same for an atom, and that's why it is neutral. So atomic number can be represented either by number of proton or by number of electron. So this will be same for each and every atom if it is neutral. So for helium, we know mass number is 4 and atomic number is 2. Now let us write down the number of 3 subatomic particles. Here from the atomic number, as atomic number is the number of electron or number of proton. So number of electron we will be getting from the representation of helium, that is 2. Proton number also 2, and let us calculate the neutron number. Number of neutron as such we will not get directly from this, but we can calculate it by mass number. As this is the total number, mass number is the total number of proton and neutron. So if we subtract the atomic number from mass number, we will be getting the number of neutron present in an atom. Okay, so here we can see number of neutron is equal to mass number, which will be represented by A, and atomic number, which is represented by Z. So here let us write it A and this is Z. So by A minus Z, from this formula we can find out the number of neutron. So for helium this will be 4 minus 2, that is 2. So let us write down. So for helium, electron, proton and neutron all are having 2 subatomic particles. Okay, 2 electron, 2 proton and 2 neutron. Now let us discuss the structure of an atom. Okay, so in the structure of an atom there are 2 main parts. One is the central part, that is the nucleus. This is the denser part or densest part, because here the proton and neutron, these 2 subatomic particles reside here. Proton we are representing as green and neutron as red. Okay, so proton and neutron, these 2 subatomic particles which are having the total mass of an electron, total mass of an atom, that will reside in the center, which is called nucleus. Okay, and together proton and neutron, these 2 subatomic particles, proton and neutron, together we will be calling as nucleon. Nucleons. Okay, proton and neutron together are called as nucleons. So these 2 subatomic particles, they reside in at the center. That's why this is the densest part of an atom. And the electrons, they reside in this circular paths which are this revolve through these circular paths which are around the nucleus. This is the nucleus at the center, and these are the shells. These circular paths, these are called shell or orbit. Okay, so in the shells or the orbit, electrons are revolving, and at the center nucleus is there. So this is the main structure of an atom. Now let us get the structure of helium here. So now we are trying to draw the structure of helium. Here we know for helium, at the center two proton is there. In the structure of helium atom, there are two proton and two neutron. So this we will be writing at the center in the nucleus, and there are two electron. So the electrons we will be drawing in this orbit or shell. So as for helium, there are no mode electron in this other shells, so we can erase this too. So this is the structure for helium. You can make it a little bit bigger also. So let us do that. This is the structure of helium. Okay. Now let us draw the structure of the structural representation of chlorine. Chlorine's mass is 35, mass number is 35, and atomic number is 17. Now from this we can get the number of electron, proton and neutron. For chlorine, number of electron will be 17, proton is again 17, and number of neutron is equal to mass number minus atomic number. That means if we calculate, we will be getting it as 18. That is, from 35 we have to deduct 17, and this will be 18. So this is the number of neutron for chlorine. Now let us draw the structure of chlorine here. The center nucleus is there, and around the nucleus shells or orbits are there. Okay. So these are the shells and orbits as we have done already. Now these shells or orbits can be given different names. The first shell will be represented by K, the next one is L, then M, and the next shell that is N. Okay. Now for chlorine, there are 17 proton and 18 neutrons are there. 17 protons and 18 neutrons. Just a second. At the center or in the nucleus, and the electrons are in the now the maximum capacity of the shells, these are fixed. So let us know that first. for there is a rule that is called Borsbury rule, that is 2 into n square. This is the formula. From this we can find out the maximum number of electron which can reside in each shell or orbit, where the n is the number of the shell. For K shell, n is equal to 1. For L shell, n is equal to 2. For M, this is 3. For N, this is 4. Like this. Okay. Now, if we put the value of n here, for K shell, we will be finding that as 2 into 1 square, that is 2. For L shell, this is 2 into 2 square, that is 8. For M, this will be 2 into 3 square, that is 18. For N shell, this will be 2 into 4 square, that means 32. 2 into 16, that is 32. So these are the maximum number of electrons which can reside in each shell. But if it is the last shell, when we will be doing the structure, it will be more clear. If it is the last shell, then like for in L shell, the maximum number is 8 only, so no confusion is there. But if the last shell is M shell, then here though the capacity of electron is 18, but here maximum 8 electron only can reside. So this is the rule. Now keep this in mind. Let us draw the structure of chlorine. Now we will be putting the electrons here. Already proton and neutron is drawn. As in the first shell, K shell, maximum 2 electron can accommodate. Maximum 2 electron can accommodate in the K shell, in the first shell. So let us draw that. The next shell, in L shell, maximum 8 electron can reside. So we will be drawing the electrons here. 8 electrons. Okay. Now already we have drawn total 10 electron and 7 electron are left. As chlorine is having total 17 electrons, so already we have drawn 10 electrons and 7 electrons are left. So let us draw that. In M shell, the capacity of M shell is 18, but we are having 7 electrons, so only 7 electrons we can write here, we can draw here for chlorine. So 6 already we have drawn and 1 more, which is alone, okay, unpaired. So this is the structure for chlorine, and as in the last shell, in N shell, no electron is there, so we will be removing this. We will be erasing this shell. No need to draw it, okay, without any electron. So this is the structure for chlorine atom, okay, along with the all subatomic particles. Now for chlorine, this is the last shell, which is called valence shell. Okay, third shell is the last shell for chlorine, so this is called the valence shell. Why this is called valence shell? Because this the number of electron which is present in the shell, that will decide the valency of that atom. Okay, as we are having the stable number of electrons here, and for M shell, as 8 electrons can reside in this shell, okay, up to atomic number 20. Here maximum 8 electrons can reside. So to get the stable structure, there must be 8 electron in this shell, in the last shell of chlorine, that is M. Okay, so the structure which we are getting for chlorine, this is the structure. This is not stable. Okay, as here 1 electron is there which is unpaired, so this structure is not stable. So to attain the stability, chlorine will capture 1 more electron in this shell and it will fulfill the octet. Octet means if 8 electrons are fulfilled in the shell, then it is called octet. And for if only the first shell is there, for helium as we have seen, if only first shell is there, then it is called doublet, as 2 electrons are there in the first shell. Okay, so this is the stable structure. So for chlorine, it will, to attain the stability, chlorine will capture one more electron from outside, from any other atom, and it will form a negative ion, okay, Cl minus. Now here in chlorine, 17 electrons are there. Its electronic configuration is 287. Okay, the arrangement of electron in different shells, this is called electronic configuration. Now for electronic configuration of chlorine, this is 287. This is the arrangement of electron, and when chlorine will capture one more electron, that means now it's having 18 electron, which will be arranged in this manner, 288. Now this is the stable structure, and as chlorine is capturing one more electron here, so its valency will be 1. Okay, so 8 minus 7, that is 1. So 1 electron it will capture. The number of electron an atom is capturing or it's losing, that will be called its valency. Okay, so valency for chlorine is 1. Now as the last shell will decide the valency of an atom, this is called valence shell, and the electrons which are present in the valence shell, these are called valence electron. Valence electrons. So for chlorine, the number of valence electrons are 7. Okay, the electrons which are present in the last shell or in the valence shell. This is all for today. So this is all for today. As we are doing regularly, you just revise this chapter together, and next day we are going to discuss the question answers of this chapter. But before that, if you thoroughly you read the chapter, you read the study materials, go through the study materials properly, I hope you can answer all the questions. Though I will be discussing that in our next class, we are going to discuss that. And if any problem is there, hope it will be solved. Okay, so just keep on studying, do the revision and all. Just the maths which are there, this you practice properly. The calculation of subatomic particles and all, these are important. Okay, and a few things are there which already I told you that many things are there in your book which are not there in the curriculum, so no need to do that. Means if you want to do, you can read. It's always good to get something extra, but no question will come from that portions, okay, which are not there in the curriculum. So this is there, and just keep on studying. Have a good day.